Trade Genius.
What's up guys, Philip at Trade Genius. In this video, I want to look at the seasonality of Bitcoin. What I mean by that is let's take a look at all the fourth quarters, so October 1st to December 31st, and see how Bitcoin has actually performed. A lot of people automatically assume that getting into fourth quarter means a run up, but it can be a little bit more tricky than that. So it's a good time to review the recent price action, most notably the recent 2017 run up in the fourth quarter of last year is fresh on everybody's minds, where we just saw some super spectacular gains and prices that I think blew a lot of people out of the water. But good to take a look at kind of historically how prices reacted in the fourth quarter. So we'll look at that in this video. So let's take a look at the chart. So here's kind of a zoomed out look. We're using the Brave New Coin Liquid Index for Bitcoin on TradingView. This is end of day. So it's just, you have to, minimum time frame you can look at this is on a daily, but what's nice is that you can get a pretty far look back in TradingView going back to into 2010. So we have the fourth quarter of 2010 all the way to the most recent fourth quarter of 2017. Now, just briefly looking at the chart, you can kind of see like this quarter was up. This quarter was trickier, it went down and then up. This quarter was relatively flat. This quarter up, flat, up, up, up. So more up than down, and so let's go dive into these. Now the trick here on these obviously is that because this isn't just a no-brainer go long type of thing, this is where our signals and things like that come into play, and we can show you how to use those. So if you want to get in the room, guys, you know, fall specials are ending this Sunday. So real quickly, $3.99 for the room will get you into our ETF binary crypto signals, and we'll throw in half hour of coaching on any of these packages, any of these specials. So if you want to look at training or you're new, this is a really good spot to get into. If you're experienced or you just don't have time and you want to get signals and helps with entries, this will work out really well for you guys. And I mean, look at yesterday. This is the Profit Sniper, and look at how many you could trade this on binary options, on the futures. You could trade this on the SPY ETF. All these entries were all profitable all day, and so that's just one of the tools that we have in our arsenal that we use to trade with. So anyway, lots of knowledge there. Encourage you guys to check it out. Back to the chart. So basically, let's drill down now to the fourth quarters, and we'll start with 2010, and then we'll just run through this real quick. Because again, it's good to take a look at the action and what you know, because a lot of times what happens is you'll just automatically assume, and like the general thought is fourth quarter is bullish, but you know, it's not just, you know, some of these you could have entered on October 1st and came out ahead, but a lot of times you're better off when you're taking profit. So you know, this one here, October 2010 to December 31st, 2010, generally an up move. Now keep in mind, you know, this is really early in the game, before I got into it, and so you had like the price action was you could get like a lot of these wicks here, and for the most part you had days where you just kind of went sideways and chopped, but generally speaking you had an upward bias into that. Let's go to 2011. All right, so 2011, what happened here? So basically what we saw was a dip down. So you know, this happened all the way into November, and then we came and bounced and came back up. And if you notice too, where we look at November we peaked out here versus November we kind of bottomed out and made a move up. So and then December was bullish, and December here was bullish as well. So that was 2011, and this is about the time I got into it, right in here, actually right before fourth quarter I got into it. So I've seen a lot of these ups and downs. So when I'm talking to you guys about price action and overall macro outlook, I've been through many up and down cycles, so trust me, I've seen the psychology and the agony of pullbacks on Bitcoin, but it, you know, it's on its journey. It's got a long way to go. All right, so this is 2012. Again, pull back down into October, November, started to make a move up, and then December was relatively flat. But for the fourth quarter, you were up. If you just entered, you were up. But again, just entering blindly, this is where our tools come into play, where you can identify whether or not it's time to go long or step aside and be short, or buy where it's oversold and then get a nice risk reward. So that was generally up. Let's take a look at 2013. Okay, so this was what I consider, this is the Chinese bull market, and that was a tremendous run. And so we get these periods of times on these fourth quarters where that's where like your really powerful moves come up, like we saw in 2017. So this is another example of that very big up move. So that's the thing, is like fourth quarter, that's probably the highest expectation for big explosive moves, right? Because that's where you see like historically the biggest percentage gain. So I think that's why the instant reaction is, oh yeah, there's a big gain in the fourth quarter. But as you can see, it's not always the case. Now, if you look at this, we entered here October. October actually ended down in 2014. So this is one of the few times where you have a fourth quarter that actually ended negatively, down from start to finish. Now, not to say this was actually a decent trading range. There was this action here was decent as far as trading it with the bounces. So there was money to be made in here, but like just going long fourth quarter didn't really pan out. And in fact, you probably didn't see break even on that for many months. So doesn't always mean that's the time to go long. 2014 was a perfect example of that. And that's why I wanted to go over this with you guys, because it's not always a no-brainer. And that's where you want to have the tools to identify that, or the mentorship. Now, this is 2015, so we finished the rounded bottom of the 2014-2015 bear market, and then another very bullish fourth quarter again. So that was again like 2013. And then if we look at 2016, again, another bullish fourth quarter. Now this one, so 2013 came off of a correction, very bullish. 2015, very bullish, came off a correction. 2016 came after the halving event, okay? So the halving event, where after so many blocks, the mining reward gets cut in half. This means half as much, Bitcoin is being rewarded to the miners, who then in turn flip it on the market for profitability. So now you've got half as much supply being introduced on the market. Obviously, that's a very bullish thing, and then it really manifests well in the fourth quarter. So here we went from 601 to into the 900, so easy 30+% there on that move. And then if we look at 2017, that one there, we went from 4,300 to almost 20K, right? So 5 times move roughly. That's just another monster move. So and again, this was actually now back-to-back bullish fourth quarters. So if we zoom back out, I think you can see that sometimes it's really no-brainer to go long. Sometimes it pays to make sure that you're entering and not getting into a pullback, or you stop out and get a better entry lower, or sometimes pick up a short if you're into shorting. But I think it's important to just go back through these and just and review the cycles, review the quarterly, seasonal trends, and see that, yeah, there are some patterns of consistency on these things, where you can have very bullish fourth quarters, you can have back-to-back bullish fourth quarters. In fact, the last 2015, 2016, and 2017, it's 3 in a row now that we've been seeing some real bullishness. Prior to that, we had if you look at where it wasn't bullish, was 2014. Prior to that, you had a very bullish fourth quarter, a flat fourth quarter, and then kind of a flat fourth quarter here because you dipped and then came up. So very early on, we don't have a lot of data, but it's good to see. But the last 3 years have been historically bullish. And so I think now it just comes down to the matter of, does our model hold? Is the bottom in? Because if it is in, then we should see something like a 2015 fourth quarter where it is generally bullish. So I hope that helps, guys. We are wrapping up the month and the quarter, so we'll take a look at the weekly outlook on Monday. We'll take a look at our monthly chart, weekly chart, and see what the week and the months ahead give us as far as probabilities on Bitcoin. Guys, thanks for watching. Please hit like and subscribe, and I will see you on tomorrow's video. Take care. Bye.
Trade Genius.